And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at blank white dice. Now I have to be honest, I was really excited about this. I love the idea of customizable dice. This has a whole Dominion card aspect to it where the different cards are going to let you draw icons on your dice. So you're going to customize your dice any way you want to. You will then roll them to see what happens. I know that this has been in development. It was at Z-Man for a while, then WizKids is the one who decided to print it, so I was pretty pumped about it. Let's take a look at how the game plays. The goal of this game is to get the most points. Once someone gets past 13 points, the game will end. Each player starts with 3 points. Now you're going to put out some cards. You always have these cards out, these black ones here, reroll, erase, tag, the window, points, but you'll also put out some other cards. I'm showing you one of the starter sets of cards that is out, although there is a ton of cards that you can use in this game. This is the common die. This die is going to be used by all players, and each player is also going to have 2 dice of their own. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to tag your dice. Tagging is simply going to be writing on the dice different symbols that you see on these cards. So maybe, for example, I'll do points, which says put a 3 on one side and a -2 on another. And I'll also do the window. And then I'll put 2 on the other die. So I'll do a re-roll. And I'll do the, let's see here. Replace this, let me see, I don't know. Let's try the time warp, all right? And so you make the different symbols that you see on these dice. Each player also will put a symbol on this die here. So maybe that's on the common die. Now what players are going to do on their turn is they're going to roll their dice. And if you roll and then they're going to start with the first player and resolve them. Now, there are some kind of waves of things to do here. If any of these things say first, you will do the first things. Sometimes for you to put something on, for example, this is the prerequisite, Predator and Prey. This costs 3 points to tag this. So again, tag means to put something on a die. If you roll a blank die, you have to tag that die. You're never allowed to have a blank die. If you roll a die like this, which is 3, you're going to get 3 points. If you roll this, you're going to lose 2 points. So let's take a look at the different dice and what they do. Now I will mention one thing here. This one is erase any face. You'll notice here, for example, this is the, what is that awful symbol? I think that was supposed to be the window. You'll notice that it's not coming off. That's because these are wet erase markers, so you have to use a wet thing to get them off. If you wash them in soapy water, it comes off, but you can see here I have scrubbed these dice and you can still see that there's some black on them. Alternatively, you can try dry erase markers. These don't come with the game, but you can write dry erase markers. The problem with dry erase markers is they come right off, so you have to be very cautious about using them. So what do the different cards do? Okay, let's take a look at some of the cards. This one lets you re-roll any die. Fine, you don't like what you have on a die, re-roll. Or it says any die, so it could be someone else's die. Here, claim the common die if you don't have it. So you take the common die, and then you'll re-roll the common die and get whatever it says. So that's what the window lets you do. This one's points. You put a 3 on one side and a -2 on another side. You can give this to another player. For example, I could tag another player. They might have a blank die facing, and it's my turn. I could put the -2 on theirs and put the 3 on another side, but that -2 will resolve right away, and I hope they don't get the 3. Or maybe I'll get this erase later and erase the 3. Then they just have a die with a -2 on it. Here, tag any die. So your opponents or your neighbors. Let's take a look at these. The parasite. When you tag parasite in an opponent's die, you get 2 points. So I can put this on someone else's die and take 2 points. If you roll this, you re-roll it, and if it comes up again, you lose 3 points. Otherwise, you get the new one. So this is kind of a dangerous one to have. This is one you put on someone else's die. Replace this face with an active icon from an opponent's die. Then resolve this face. So knowledge slot. My opponent rolled the 3 points. Here, remember this one costs 3 points. I can put a 3 on any face, and then a -2 on any face, and then I can erase it. So I can put a 3 like I want on mine, and a -2 on someone else's. This one here, I might erase this icon and gain a point every time I re-roll this time warp. Here I can pick an icon, erase every instance of that from this die. So maybe I'll say the -2, I'll get rid of all of them. Or I can erase this icon and get a point. So you're going to find as you go through these cards, some of them are more complicated than others. Some have a lot of different things. For example, when you tag this icon, whoever controls the die gains 2 points. So I can tag it on my own or I can tag it on someone else's. I would probably tag it on someone else's because every time they roll it, they lose a point. However, when this icon's erased, the controller of the erase effect steals 1 point from the erase junk foods controller. So let's say I stick this on your die, give you 2 points, then you roll it twice and you lose 2 points. Later on, I roll an erase, so I erase it and steal a point from you. Here you can swap one of your dice with another player's dice. Sometimes it says overwrite erase. What that means is when this one comes out, it replaces the erase card. So instead of there being the erase card, you will have the zap card, which is a different kind of erase. Here's a split strategy. When you roll this, you can either gain a point or pick a player to lose 2 points. Here you put a dot. Some of the cards will put dots, which are usually good, or dashes, which are usually bad. You put a dot every time you roll this, and then you get a point for each dot in the face. So the more this is rolled, the more points you get. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the game. Here this overwrites the tag. You can erase one face or tag one face or pay a point to do both. When you tag this, you gain a point, dash this face, lose a point for each dash in this face. So this is kind of the opposite of the one I just showed you. And when you tag this icon, gain a point. So I can give this to somebody else and get a point. Here's a multi-tag, to tag twice. Camouflage is this ward. If something else targets mine, I can dot this face to fizzle, to cancel the effect. And then I gain a point, plus 1 point, gain a point for every dot in his face, and erase it. And you can see that some of these have a whole ton of text on them, the loyal service bot. So there's all kinds of different cards in this set, and they're all going to do different things, really giving you a ton of variety. Anyway, so each player is going to resolve the effects on their dice, and you're going to, score points or lose points on the score thing here. And once someone passes 13, at the end of that round, whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let me explain the problems with this game. I have to say the idea of the game is sound. All right? I love the idea of this game. The concept is really cool, but it's very problematic. First of all, and probably by far the biggest problem, is simply the mechanical aspects of the game themselves. Wet erase markers are horrible. There's no other way to put it. You have to take these dice and use a wet cloth to wipe off the sides, which if you did it at the end of the game might be acceptable, but since you have to erase them constantly during the game, it's extremely problematic. So much of a pain that after our first game, I said, we got to do something else. So we got out dry erase markers, and they were just as bad, because when you roll them, the stuff gets all over your hands. There's really no good solution to this problem. And even the dice themselves, I took them and I washed them, and I did everything shy of putting bleach on them, right? And just washed them with soap and water, and they still didn't look that good. This is a game. It's a fast game. I shouldn't be having to do that. Now here's the deal. I do realize how difficult this was. What do you do? How do you do this? What is the solution to this? I think the thing is, if there is no solution, then it shouldn't be done, really. Because instead we got this wet erase marker. It's like, well, no, you can do that. But I really think a lot of people are going to be turned off by that right away. It says blank white dice, but mine are spotted black dots all over them dice. I mean, and then these dice come with erasers. Why is there an eraser on this? It doesn't work. So there's that. The second problem with the game is the fact that the cards themselves, and I always am like ranting against this, but why are we using obscure terminology? I get tag, all right? Tag means write something on a die. But you go through here, and this one has, we have mark. Well, what's the difference between mark and tag? And then this one here has ward. And the terminology on these and the rules themselves weren't really that well written. They were extremely confusing. I went through them multiple times. This should not be that confusing of a game. And every single one of these cards, once you get past the basic cards, you're going to sit there and go, how does that work exactly? This isn't a game that's intuitive at all, really. I mean, yeah, the idea of writing stuff on a die. You know that one I showed you? 3 on one side, -2 on the other, that one works. The one where you put a dot on it and every time you roll it, you get a point, that one works. But for every one of those dice, we have these really... if you control more than 2 dice, reduce each of your point losses by 1. This is cumulative with other safety number icons and effects that reduce point loss. Then, gain points equal to the number of players. Each opponent gains points equal to the number of players, -2. What? That sounds like a complicated expansion for a game, but this is in the base game itself. Finally, it's hard to explain. It's like a really cool activity, but it doesn't feel like a complete game. You roll some dice, and the game can end pretty quickly. I mean, you need 14 points. So if I roll 2 3s, which is possible, let's say I use that basic thing with 3, and I get 6 plus my additional 3, I'm at 9. Turn 2, I roll 2 3s again, and now I have 15. The game's over. Now, the games aren't going to end that fast. That's incredibly good rolling. But it's not too far out of the realm of possibility. There are many times where we played, and I'm telling you, folks, I played this game a lot, because I said, we've got to be missing something. All right, let's try a different set of cards. Okay, let's try with a different number of players and a different set of cards. Okay, let's try another set of cards. I kept trying because I was like, there's got to be something here. And I love the concept of this game, like I said, but it just doesn't work out well in practice. And it's such a disappointment because I think it's neat. I like Dominion deck building. I like Warriors from the same company, WizKids, the die building pool. And if there was some way to do this, maybe if there was electronic dice or the dice that Rio Grande used where the sides pop off or something, that mechanical thing really is just right there. On that basis alone, I can't recommend the game. But even if that wasn't the problem, the gameplay itself just isn't as exciting as I thought it would be. It's a cool, innovative concept, but that doesn't mean it's a good game. Dice Tower Judgment, a cool idea that just does not work.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.